The success of the banking sector sent Lehman Brothers to become one of the big four investment banks in the United States. Everything was going well until Lehman Brothers decided to undertake a massive real estate project that linked itself with some of the largest corporate companies such as Goldman and JP Morgan.
I do believe in the American dream. Owning a home is a part of that dream. We are taking action to bring many thousands of Americans closer to owning a home. This project not only is good for the soul of the country, it's good for the pocketbook of the country as well.
Initially, this deal was considered good by the public, which resulted in all their shares being sold exceeding their own company expectations until one day.
The news story, the mortgage meltdown.
This morning in the mortgage meltdown, new numbers showing that a record number of Americans are losing their homes.
More than 70 mortgage companies have failed in the last few months in America, and now the biggest of the big companies, the Bear Stearns, the big banks, are caught holding the bag.
The fifth largest investment bank in the country, Bear Stearns, is being sold for just $2 a share to JP Morgan. It's being assisted by the government, which is stepping in to guarantee some $30 billion in Bear's toxic real estate assets.
You've got to imagine that Hank Paulson didn't think he signed up for this when President Bush picked him to become Treasury Secretary.
Hank Paulson may now have to undo some of the deregulation measures that he and his peers on Wall Street pushed through when he ran Goldman.
Treasury Secretary Hank Paulson telling Matt Lauer this morning, quote, "We're all over it. I've got great confidence in our markets. They're resilient, they're flexible."
Allie, the truth is that Bear Stearns is only a very small fraction of this story. Our economy could face far worse than a recession.
In the wake of Bear's collapse, Lehman Brothers is scrambling to reassure investors about the impact of the mortgage crisis on its own assets. Shares of the firm under a great deal of pressure this morning. Dick Fuld, a 39-year veteran of Lehman and the longest-running CEO of a major investment bank on Wall Street, has pulled the firm back from the brink during other crises. But today, for the first time that I'm hearing it, investors are questioning his leadership.
The failure of the large project led by Dick Fuld and called the mortgage crisis has a major impact not only on the state and government, but also several well-known financial companies which unexpectedly would also go bankrupt due to this case, such as Merrill Lynch.
If Lehman Brothers fails this weekend, there's little doubt amongst the people I speak to that Merrill Lynch will be next. Confidence is a very fragile thing, and in our financial markets, it is eroding very quickly.
AIG is a huge problem. The books are a mess. But from what I can tell, half the banks in the world are in bed with these guys. Everyone who had a piece of crap mortgage security bought insurance on their risk from AIG. And I mean everyone.
How could they let this happen?
I must have figured real estate would never go down. Ever.
Morgan and Goldman.
What? Dow is falling off a cliff. 400 points already. The credit markets are frozen.
Goldman and Morgan Stanley are getting slammed by withdrawals. Lehman thinks killing them.
In response to this, the American government created a program TARP to buy asset equity from financial institutions to strengthen their finance. And this program was signed directly by the U.S. President, George Walker Bush.
We are of the view that the United States needs to take strong, decisive action to arrest the stress in our financial system. Through our new TARP authority, Treasury will purchase preferred stock in each of the banks represented in this room. That stock will yield 5% the first 5 years, 9% after that. We give you money, you lend it out. It will unfreeze credit, stabilize the banks, restore confidence.
With this program, the United States financial crisis that occurred in 2008 can be stabilized and the possibility of a crisis can be avoided in 2010.
The implementation of the government authority named Trump did not improve the economy immediately. Also, didn't always give good impact. It has struggled on it. But the United States economy improved over time.
This is proven by the increased number in the majority of shares or stock in market dominated by banking sector again with 77%. They declare this too big to fail.
Based on Lehman Brothers cases that are failing to big real estate project in US, which links them to the other financial companies, even the government and economic collapse.
Can learn that as a company and person very highly recommended to think about your idea, possible realize it to the action that bring high impact not just to yourself but to the others too.